This is Andrea. I'm a Youth Services Librarian at the Hickory Corner branch of the Mercer County Library System, and today I'm going to make for you a chocolate mug cake. It's really easy. It's made with simple ingredients that I had in my pantry and my fridge. I didn't have to get anything else, and it's a really trendy thing right now. I've seen it all over the internet, but quite frankly, I never made one until recently because I love to bake, and I thought that baking in a microwave was going to be a disaster, but I was pleasantly surprised actually. This is perfect if it's for one person or a small family, or if you just want that quick little treat and you don't want to make a whole cake or have a whole cake laying around the house, or if you don't want to use the oven to heat up your whole house. And it's great for making with kids because they can be involved in the whole process. They can be involved in measuring and mixing, and then because it's in the microwave, it's really easy to cook, and then they can eat it right away. That instant gratification that kids love. My daughter made the sample with me, and she really enjoyed the whole process. This recipe has no eggs and no butter, so it's great for vegans because you can just swap out the milk for a non-dairy milk, and then you have a vegan-friendly recipe. You can swap out the flour for a gluten-free flour, and then you can use it as a gluten-free recipe. So it's very versatile. And so I just want to show you my setup here. As you'll see, I kind of have everything all out in front of me. I have everything over here to my side. In French, this is called mise en place, and that just means putting everything in its place. And if you think about it, that's how libraries are organized. Libraries are organized by having everything in its place. So I think it's kind of a natural progression for me as an organized librarian to love baking because it's very precise. I have everything in its place, and then it really makes the process go a lot easier. So I highly recommend doing that. So as you follow along with me, don't bother taking notes or anything. I'm going to have the whole recipe for you in the description below. So let's get started. So you're going to need to start with a 12-ounce or maybe slightly larger mug. Don't go any smaller than 12 ounces because it'll bubble over in the microwave. So honestly, I wasn't sure which ones of my mugs were 12 ounces. This is kind of my regular size coffee mug, and as you can see, it's much bigger than the one I ended up using. So a trick was to just fill your mug with water and then pour the water into a liquid measuring cup and see where it lands. And if you'll see there, my measurement is there. This is a 12-ounce mug. So clearly this mug is much bigger. So 12 ounces is recommended, slightly larger is okay, smaller is not. So start with a 12-ounce mug. You're going to want to grease the inside of it. So I'm going to use my cooking spray. You can certainly just use the vegetable oil or butter if you want, but I just think the cooking spray is easy. Just go in there with a paper towel and do that. Now what you're going to want to do is just set that off to the side, because you're not going to need that until the batter's done. Okay, so in my bowl, I already have pre-measured my dry ingredients. A lot of mug cake recipes out there are going to tell you to do this all right in the mug, and that's fine. Personally, I think you need a little more space because you need to whisk things, and so putting a whisk in a mug that size is just too small. I think it's worth dirtying the one extra bowl to give yourself a little bit more room. So in my bowl, I have a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay, you're not using hot chocolate mix. This is cocoa powder or Dutch processed cocoa, whatever you have, but make sure it's unsweetened. Then you need 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Personally, I probably used a little bit less than that. I thought it came out a tiny bit sweet, so you can always adjust the sweetness depending on your palate. And then also the baking powder. Okay, you only need 1/4 teaspoon, and this is your leavening agent, so you're definitely going to need this. And then just a pinch of salt, because salt always enhances the sweetness. So you're going to put that all in a bowl, and you're going to give it a whisk. It really helps to get the lumps out, especially in cocoa powder, because cocoa powder can come out a little bit lumpy. Okay, now we're going to add our wet ingredients to this. Okay, so I already pre-measured out. I just used some whole milk because that's what I had when I made another sample. I did it with 2% and that worked. And like I said, if you are trying to be non-dairy, you can use an almond milk or whatever you have. So you're going to need a 1/4 cup of milk. Now I'm going to show you a little trick when it comes to chocolate cake. A little bit of leftover coffee from the morning will enhance that chocolate flavor so much, and it'll make it much more intense. So if you want to add coffee, you're going to put a little less milk and a little bit of coffee. So I added a little less than 1/4 cup of milk, and I'm going to just fill up the rest with my leftover coffee from this morning. I'll put that back here. And now I can add that in. Okay, my little handy mini spatula, just to make sure you get all of those ingredients out. Okay, and then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or any non-flavored oil. You can use canola oil, you can melt down some coconut oil, but do not use anything with flavor. Don't add olive oil or anything. That's gonna make it taste a little bit funny. Okay, so I had vegetable oil, so that's what I'm using. Okay, make sure you get all of that out. And then you need 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, we'll add that in there. All right, so the last ingredient is about 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips. These get added at the end, so let's mix our batter. So I'm just gonna use my whisk. Now the key to mixing cake batter is that you do not want to over mix it. Okay, you wanna get everything just combined. Honestly, even if it's a little bit lumpy, that's okay. You do not want to overwork the gluten and make yourself a tough cake. Okay, so I think I'll just go around a couple times with my spatula there. Okay, and that's what your batter is going to look like. And now we're just gonna pour that into our greased mug. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now we just sprinkle with those chocolate chips, kind of get them all around. Shake them up, okay. So that's what it's gonna look like in there. Now, give it a little tap, get the air bubbles out. Okay, now I'm gonna put this in the microwave for 90 seconds. And we're gonna have a little chat about microwaves while this is cooking. Okay. So, your cooking time is going to vary depending on the size of your mug and your microwave, okay? My microwave is 1,000 watts, and the reason I know that is because I had to look it up online. There's a label inside my microwave. I could not find the wattage. Some people will have it listed right on the inside of their microwave on that label. I couldn't find it on there. So I just put in the model number, which was on my label. I put that into Google, and it brought up, this is a GE model. So it brought up the GE website, and I was able to find the owner's manual because this was in my house before I bought it. So I was able to look it up online. It told me the wattage, and that way I was able to kind of get an idea of how long I should cook this for, okay? Yours will probably range anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds. 60 seconds are gonna be for higher wattage microwaves, like an 1100 or a 1200 watt microwave, all the way up to the 90 seconds that I needed for my 1,000 watt microwave. I would start with a lesser number. When I did my test, I started with 75 seconds, and then it wasn't quite done because you want it to be set in the middle. So it wasn't quite done, so I put it in for another 15 seconds, and that's how I got to 90 seconds. And I really thought that that was the perfect consistency. So you're really gonna have to kind of play with it a little bit. And what's nice is because it's kind of a single serving cake, you can kind of test it out without wasting a lot. And even if you undercook it a little bit, or even if you overcook it a little bit, I think it'll still be good. So like I said, just pay attention to your microwave and just pay attention to those cooking times, anywhere between about 60 and 90 seconds. And if you have a super low wattage, it might even be more than 90 seconds. So it's done already, guys. Let's check it out. All right, so it is warm. It's not so hot that it's burning my hand or anything, so I was able to grab it. But there is our mug cake. It looks so good. And see, it's set. It's not coming out. Do not confuse the melted chocolate chips with undercooked batter, okay? So I'm gonna get a spoon here. I should have got one out before we started, but I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna grab a spoon. Now you're gonna want to let this cool a little bit, but I'm not gonna torture you guys by making it cool before I show you what it looks like inside. But you wanna let it set up a little bit and let it cool. And this is really best served right away, because if you're making this, you're not making it for later, you're making it for right now. So if you're gonna do this, I would plan to do this like right before you're about to eat it or very soon after. You can certainly top this with your favorite, you know, whipped cream or a scoop of ice cream, but honestly, this is so decadent that it's completely delicious by itself. So I did not add anything to mine. So let's dig in. Look, and there you go, a chocolate mug cake cooked in 90 seconds. All right, well, I hope you guys give this a try at home. It's really fun, and as you can see, it was really easy. So, bye friends.